All right then. Hello. Welcome to the
All
Anime
right.
Watch List.
All
We
right.
talk about things about anime and stuff.
This podcast does contain spoilers, so watch at your own discretion.
We're finishing off the first season of Violet Evergarden with episodes 7 to 13. We did discover, however, that there is a 14th episode that takes place between 4 and 5, I believe. So, oof. We
Wait,
missed
what?
it.
They don't need to know about that.
Wait, what?
There's
An
another.
OVA.
There's
I
an
didn't know
OVA.
about this.
Neither did we.
What?
Oh, we talked about that before you joined the call. Yeah.
Bro.
And I guess we should
It makes
introduce
sense too
ourselves.
because she gets so adept at letter writing. Anyways, yep. Hello, I'm Ayden.
I'm Emily.
And I'm Ian. And let's talk about episode 7, guys. of Violet
Yay.
Evergarden. Oh,
Sir.
man.
I mean, first of all, do we want to just talk about because we finished the show? So, well, I guess we can save that for the end. Huh? Overall impression.
We actually finished the show on time this time, guys.
Yeah,
We're
good
actually
job,
able to
everyone.
sync our
Well, yeah,
schedules.
it was really easy when I had a week of doing absolutely nothing.
That's true.
So,
Actually, so fun story. I crammed watching all of it into 2 days of you today
Ooh.
and Monday. Yeah, so that was
nice.
I just watched the last 3 episodes today.
Nice. I finished it last week at some point, about a week ago.
About a go. Okay.
So
Let's continue.
I knew someone would do
Somebody
that.
was gonna do it, yeah.
Okay. So episode 7.
Yeah, what?
Do you guys remember what happened in episode 7?
Oh yes, that was about the playwright, right?
The playwright. I just want to say
Oh yeah! Oh my goodness,
when
that
they-
episode.
when they
So,
opened
yeah,
up,
all
I
of
just
the
want to say,
episodes in the second half were just like really good. Honestly, like I feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
they topped the first half.
and in the beginning of the episode, I was like, okay, this is going to be like a filler episode of like them going to the theater or something, and then I ended up crying at the end of the episode. I actually did cry. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not that surprised, but
Hey.
yeah.
Okay. But yeah, so
Just drop.
Yeah,
my
it was
alarm
so sad.
yeah, so Violet gets an order from a famous playwright or writer. I want to say playwright, right?
It was a playwright. He was writing a play.
Playwright, yeah, Oscar Webster, which
Yeah, that.
yeah. Actually, I feel like he was kind of like a dig at like not dig but like a reference to like Shakespeare from how they were
Mhm.
speaking on stage. And I do want to say I have
Yeah.
found out what era and what place this takes place in.
Oh, really?
Yes, from like deducing it. It's like I want to say it's like I want to say it's like post Industrial Revolution Germany.
Ayden,
Well, I guess
well,
the name,
I mean, that makes sense.
whatever it's called, Leiden. What's it called?
Like even say the names, they're all German.
That's what I'm saying. Like the name of the city itself is very German.
Yeah.
Leiden Schlafklick or something like that. I don't remember.
Yes, that's what it's
Leiden
called.
Schifflick? Leiden.
This just says Leiden,
Capital
but
Leiden.
it's longer than that.
Maybe there's, like,
I think
different
it's the country,
places
the country
in
of
it.
Leiden. It's the country of Leiden.
And then the city's like Leidenschloss or something like
Yeah,
that.
let me find it. It's the capital city of Leiden.
Place. Yeah, it's a good place, and it's a German place. Apparently,
It's a German place. Yeah. So, yeah.
Mhm.
So, dead daughter.
Yeah, I know, and I like how they start the episode and he's a drunk and all that, and then you end up feeling bad for him at the end, like really bad for him. Like that's
Oh yeah.
that was a big fan.
Which I mean, so this is also when we realized that we were kind of joking at this about the first part is how she's not going to show emotions until like the last episode is when she's finally going to cry. If I
Yeah,
remember
and then-
correctly, she cries right after the episode where we cut off.
Yeah, episode 7, I believe she. I don't remember what specific part she cried at though, but I remember it had to do with
Yeah.
daughter.
It was so that they could finish the play he wrote for his dog.
I loved how she was so invested in the play. Like she was
Yeah.
starting to show
She's showing,
everything. Like
she's
the
showing her
play,
age. She's showing her
Yeah.
age.
and it was like she was being exposed to empathy and feeling like emotions for other people and putting her I guess kind of putting herself in their shoes,
Mhm.
but like less empathy. So never mind. But yeah, I just really liked how it like gave her a little bit of character having this experience.
Yeah.
It
I
shows
also wanna
character
say-
development.
Yeah. Go ahead. Aiden.
sorry. No, just because slowly the show does character development really well because she's slowly getting more used to emotions to the point where it's seamless, but now she's at a part where she's empathizing with characters in a play and it's like, what's going to happen next? It's just like,
Yeah.
shows how far we've come.
I feel like, but at the same time, it's like a big jump from episode 6 to 7. I kind of feel like, well, no, not really, because episode 6, I want to say that was the one with the observatory, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
it was.
Yeah, that is definitely where she started like showing emotion, I would say. And however, this is also the episode 7, where I concluded my thesis for this show. Now, that might sound strange. However, my thesis is that her destiny to find the definition of love and what I loved you meant is not the sense of I love you romantically, but the different types of love that exist in the world.
So I
Okay, yeah,
agree.
I can see that.
I agree with that. Yeah, different because we see all these different types of love.
We
However,
see
I
these
know you're
different
going to
types of
use
love.
that to say that she didn't love the major romantically, and that's untrue.
Yes.
because
Yeah, no,
that
that's
was one of the
not true
types
at
of love.
all.
No.
I mean, I do like that because there is like we see it. There's like mother and daughter and all these
Yes.
different types of love. Like that word is.
So like
Yeah,
even
episode
like
6 was romantic, episode 7 was familial.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
I actually
And
I have a thing in front of me open. It's philia, pragma,
And agape.
storge, eros,
Oh,
ludus,
there's a lot more
mania,
apparently.
uh,
wow.
philutia, and agape.
Yeah, there's the one that I
And they
The one we know, agape.
Yeah.
and in order, it's philia is true friendship, right?
Uh-huh.
Pragma is mature love that develops over time, which is like long-term relationship, like friendships.
Mhm.
And storge is family love, familiar, like family, which is a lot of these episodes were. Eros is romantic love, which like I think was episode 11 is the one where she writes the letter for the soldier in the war.
Oh, yes,
Yes.
that was a good one.
Oh, that was
Ludus
such,
is-
that
I'm
was my
looking forward to talking about that one as well. All of these episodes are really good.
yes,
anyway.
Yeah,
Ludus,
they are. Oh my
Ludus is playful love, like flirting, like the beginning of date, like
Gotcha. So they
like
have a lot of
teaching-
little words for other types of romance.
Yeah.
It seems.
mania, which I don't think they have a version of this because the direct translation to like anime is yandere, which mania is obsessiveness or madness.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
definitely
that
don't
is
have
Yandere.
obsessive
They don't have
love
that.
in this.
Good thing.
And then
Glad about that.
I don't know if I'm saying this right, but Filutia? Filutia? It's Phil Autia. Like
Lucia, maybe. I don't know.
Filutia. Maybe. It's
These are all Greek words, right? I'm
It's-
assuming.
yeah, I feel like it's Greek or Latin. I know it's Latin, I believe. It's love towards oneself.
Mm.
Agape.
Like self-love.
But anyways,
And then agape is love for like love for everyone and anyone. It's like
big
love
boy love.
for-
All the love.
it's
Yes,
all
love
yes.
all around.
I love
Deepest
everyone.
love.
Unconditional.
Yes,
Yep,
unconditional.
there's the word.
There we go. There's the
not
word.
not based off of romance or family or anything like that. So
Right.
and yeah, I think
It's
the
as
show does handle that really well because that is her purpose, right? I think you could
Yeah.
summarize it as in the
Yeah,
show. Her
definitely.
purpose is figuring out that
Yeah,
word.
I didn't even think about that. That's a really good point that she's going through all the different types of love.
Mhm. Yeah, so episode
And-
7.
Yeah, and
Go ahead.
and well, I was thinking about it, watching it. I really am, but like you don't see characters like Violet all that much who don't understand emotion. Like it's a really unique concept, and it's a character I can empathize with to a certain degree. It's not that I'm a robot, but I'm not the greatest at emotion, so it's actually cool to see a character like that.
Most
Yeah,
anime
same here.
protagonists either yell too much or cry too much.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's nice to see the change of pace, and I can agree with that. I'm like
Unless
I'm good
you're
at
Deku.
expressing emotion, but like physically, I feel like I'm
Unless-
just like no emotion.
Unless you're Deku, then you're both.
Oh my goodness,
Bro,
Deku.
Deku cries every second, I swear.
Oh, he's such a crybaby.
But it is cool because I feel like in the show when Violet cries, you feel like there was a reason behind it. Like it really that's what drives the emotional impact because it's like
It
wow,
didn't seem like a cop out by the authors.
Yeah.
I actually really do want to. I want to buy like the books and read them, little light novels
Or
That would be cool.
for Violet Evergarden. Yeah, so I do like to see like these strange stuff. But this episode is where I think we get the most beautiful animation
Yeah. The parasol and the water and all that.
Parasol. Okay, so like leading up to it, this is for the audience. Leading up to it, it's revealed that this man's daughter, the playwright, his daughter dies due what I believe it looks like cancer, right? Like she looks pretty like
Yeah,
chemotherapy.
she looked bad. Yeah,
She looked
like
bad. But like the middle of the episode, it's revealed that she wanted to skip across the lake, I believe, and like fly across the lake, like, jump across the lake with their parasol.
walk on water. Jesus,
She wanted to walk on
Kyle.
water, yeah.
Yeah. And he tells Violet that, Oscar does. He tells Violet that, and she goes, very well. She goes, grabs the parasol, and then jumps across. And what I'm pretty sure is like halfway across. And if you look up, let me see. I'm pretty sure if I just look up,
And she like walked on the leaves too. That was a big part of it. Like
Yeah,
what if I
was
can walk across
if you
the
look up
leaves?
Violet Evergarden lake scene,
Before I find it.
It is just like
It just felt like such a monumental scene in the whole show. Like the
Yeah,
animation was beautiful, and
I also
really-
think this is a good character moment for Violet because she starts showing more not empathy, but like she starts being able to like,
she
starts-
wants to serve others.
yes,
Well,
Yeah,
she's
and she
always
starts-
wanted to do that,
she
kind
wants
of.
to fulfill other people's wishes, I believe.
Yeah.
she starts being her own person too. Like she has a reason to do things, you know, because
Mhm.
up until now she's been following orders because that's what she does. But now it's like there's a why in her head. Like I want to do this because this person's sad, and not because I was told to.
Right, yeah.
And then that was why, you know, like she now that she's kind of come to terms with it, that's why it's so intense when she learns at the end of the episode about Gilbert. Like I didn't think they were gonna drop it.
Yes!
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I did not expect them to reveal that so soon.
Yep.
But it was really perfectly timed in hindsight.
I know how we were joking the first in the part one of this episode of this show is that we never see the Evergarden family again. We see them we see in this episode, yeah. And I believe it's Violet, it's Mrs. Evergarden that like tells
Really just
Violet, right?
Yeah, the Evergardens, they come in and they ruin everything. That's their purpose in the show.
But which one I think it was
The
8,
old
right? We
mom
get the flashback.
Oh,
We get the flashback in episode 8, right?
I believe so. It lines up, I think, because that's how episode 7 ends.
Yes, but episode 7 we see the Major's dog tags.
Gotcha. Yeah.
His body couldn't be
that
found.
he was presumed dead. Mm-hmm.
Or I think he said like MIA, and then they said he was just dead.
Yeah. So then all of episode 8 and 9 and 10, maybe? 10 as
no,
well.
not 10. Not 10. 10 is the one with the little girl.
Oh yeah. Okay. Episode 8 and 9. Both of those are just
9.
Violet dealing with.
Yeah, I want to say it's like not a two-parter, but they lead like seamlessly.
It's a connected story for
Yeah.
Yeah. So episode 8 is when we get like I think this is the one where it's a full-on back flashback, right?
Huh.
Just I think so, yeah.
Obviously, throughout the rest of the show, there's flashbacks that show more, but this is the biggest one that shows.
Yeah, this one was the one where it went back and showed like deeper into the opening scene from the first episode, like deeper into what happened and what they talked about
in the street market. Because I believe someone says that like, oh, this thing is beautiful, and Violet doesn't know what that means. What does beautiful mean?
Wasn't that said in the first episode, or am I making that up?
No, you're making that up. That wasn't said in the first episode.
I don't remember, but I think Ian's right, yeah.
Okay, I wouldn't be surprised.
I know why. I know why, because I rewatched the first episode. So I hear right now, the reason why she liked the dog was because it reminded her of the Major. She said it had his eyes.
What?
Yes. So the whole like
I thought that was a brooch. Wait, seriously?
No,
she said that about the dog?
She said that about the dog as well. Like it reminds me of the Major. It has his eyes.
Dang, she really liked his eyes, I guess.
Yeah.
Those little eyes. I don't know.
See, the thing about this, she loves his eyes, and she said that his eyes were beautiful. Why would you say that about your? I mean, like
dad. Yeah.
Like your father. You wouldn't be like, "Oh, your eyes are so beautiful." No.
furthering our point. But also, I thought it was a good moment when she learns what beautiful means, and then she tells Gilbert, like
You guys,
Yeah.
I
you
thought
guys
they
must
were
agree.
beautiful.
You guys must agree with Hisoka and Mineta, don't you?
No, sir.
What?
What about
No, of
Mhm.
course not.
different universes as well?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and they're not family.
Yeah, but anyways, it's Violet Evergarden. That she's definitely a romantic. At least she feels a romantic way towards him, and he did too, because he told her "I love you" before he died,
Okay.
and he said it in a
Okay.
loving way.
They said
Okay.
"I love you" a
Anyway.
bunch of times in that series. All right, how'd you get
Okay,
romantic?
but
How did you get
no, but you
romantic?
cannot.
How did
You
you get
cannot.
romantic?
Do you remember the scene where they were like staring at each other, like they were walking, and then like Violet turned around and then they just stared at each other? You cannot tell me that is familial love. That
Okay.
is totally romantic.
Which episode is this?
8.
That was in the 8, yeah, with the brooch, and then also he holds back on saying it earlier because and then he stops himself. That's not a very dad thing to say.
You
And
don't
another
do
part,
that to your daughter.
so it's not a big reveal if it's
It's like,
just a
I don't want, like,
daughter.
I love you, but I don't want to tell you because I'm scared because I don't want you to reject me. You don't do that to your daughter. You tell your daughter that you love her
Well, I'm
without.
pretty sure at that point, you also know of like adopted families. They don't tell each other they love each other when they first like become families, right?
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly. They don't.
Okay, but
Doesn't apply. But
still.
we should move on.
We should move on.
I don't think
All
we're
right.
gonna come to an agreement on
Okay.
that.
I want to point something else out about episode 8. When they were like originally walking to the shops and stuff, and he was like, "Hey, Violet, I'll get you whatever you want." She said that she didn't know what she wanted, which makes sense because she'd like been in the military her whole life, so of course she wouldn't know what she wanted. But I wish that Gilbert, right? I wish Gilbert didn't say girls like dresses or whatever. He was like he stereotyped it. I wish he said whatever catches your eye, even though the brooch did catch your eye, and I still wish
His
that
eyes too much.
he didn't.
Well, you also
say,
got to remember
I
this
wish
is like
he didn't funnel her
an
into.
1800s world, right?
Well, yeah, no, but I get that. But I'm just saying, like, if it were me in that situation, I would say whatever stands out to you or something like that, because Violet doesn't know those things. I'm sure Violet doesn't know. Well, she clearly doesn't because she said, "I don't know what I want," and so Gilbert should have said anything that like draws. He shouldn't have funneled her into uh, set few things or whatever,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no,
get
I
it.
agree. I feel like Gilbert in general, he didn't like he wasn't the best person in the world. Like I mean, not that he was a bad person, but you definitely saw ways where he could have handled things with her better.
Like
Yeah.
not taking her to a war zone.
Yeah, well, I think that
Sure.
and it also just shows like it didn't matter to Violet because as long as it was somebody who treated her like a person, that was enough to make her fall in love with them because she's never dealt with that before. Like so,
Right.
even though he
Yeah.
wasn't always like the most perfect person at dealing with her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think in episode 8, Gilbert tries to talk his superiors out of having her as a soldier. But do you
And then
remember
he
what?
tells her to stay, and then she just goes anyways. Or was that
No. What
thing?
the superior officer says? Do you remember what he says?
She just
He
a
said-
tool or something like that?
She's just a tool. Just drop her off at the
Oh,
first front line you see and leave her to die.
That was so sad.
She's just an orphan. We have no need for them. I'm like, what?
Bruh moment.
Big bro. That's like a big oof moment. Like
Yeah.
Minecraft villager oof.
Mhm.
Oh man.
So then, yeah, and then she, throughout the rest, it's just a flashback of them fighting the battle. Not like a whole lot happened. She just shows her
No.
crazy combat skills.
That too, but no, that
Oh,
was when
there
the
stuff with
training thing.
Hodgins? Was that in
That was
that
the training.
episode?
It's also in this episode where she learns how to read and write.
But yeah,
Is also in this one.
I remember
And-
that, but I don't remember how it is out. How she learned how to read. Oh yeah, he told her to write things every day.
Yeah.
That was good.
To like write like a field report.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Now, episode 9 is I think is my favorite episode in the show.
Oh, that was a good episode.
Yeah.
It was not. I believe it's a full on. No, it is not a full on. It's not a full on backstory because I think like the first 5 minutes is like takes place in the past. But
It
this is
feels
like
like
a
a conclusion
full on.
of ways.
Yeah.
Like if the show ended there, it would have made sense. Even though not the last three are also really good, but like it would have also
Yeah.
made sense to end there just because it feels so complete.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but oh my goodness, them like that. I think that was the most tense situation that I've ever been watching a show.
With when they were leaving at the very beginning,
When they're
they get away from the
infiltrating
battle.
the place. They're infiltrating the place, yeah. But I think when I was like, because I had texted you guys that I almost threw up this episode because
Oh yeah.
we see how she loses her arms
No,
in
it
this
just
episode.
falls off. Like what?
No,
Yeah,
no,
I
it gets
thought it was like,
sniped
how does
off.
it just fall off from a gunshot?
Oh, do you see what they do to arms? Like they can blow off whole arms.
I don't know. I wouldn't think about the logistics of it.
Like
I
that big
didn't think about
rifle?
it, but
Yeah, definitely. It can blow off an arm. Yes, definitely.
I don't
All
remember.
right.
I think she might have also taken multiple wounds, but truthfully, I wasn't. Again, I wasn't thinking
Yeah,
much about the
but
logistics. I
like
was just like, oh, there goes her arm. All right then.
there goes her arm. Yeah, yeah. But that was fine. I was like, oh man, that was intense. And then later on, when we like get like a flashback again to when like they're in the uh staircase, it just like her other arm just goes like I I did not like it. Whatsoever.
Yeah, so I have
Oh,
no
God.
memory of that. If that doesn't say anything about that how I can take like gore, I don't know what to.
Yeah,
Much. Okay.
Yeah, okay. You're right. Never mind.
I liked at the end of
What?
that scene though, like where we see again where he tells her I love you, and then it shows more to the backstory where she's like, what does it mean? I don't get it. Like I know that we are.
Oh,
It's interesting because we already know that she doesn't get it. Yet they haven't showed us that part, and it does impact more because it's like you just see how distraught she is about not understanding the word, and they hid that from us up to that point.
yeah.
Thought it was
Yeah.
good.
Mhm.
I also appreciate how determined she was to save Gilbert. Like she had no arms, and she still tried everything she
Oh,
could
man.
to help him.
Pulling him
Like
up
she
with
did
her
straight up
teeth.
grab him with her mouth. Like that was.
Yeah.
You can only imagine how helpless she must feel. Like how. Like, just the fact that they were both wounded and he was dying. Even if you had arms, it would be hard to get him out of that situation alive. But the fact that she had no arms to carry him away, she must have felt so helpless.
I don't know how I felt when like she slipped on the blood.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
oh gosh. She's like slipping on
That's
her.
definitely the most gruesome scene in the whole show for sure.
Definitely.
Mhm. Yeah, but like it like ends with him pushing her away because turns out later on we find out like later on in the season the bad guys just straight up blew up the enemy blew up the fort, like they just
Yeah,
blew it up to like get rid of.
self-destruct.
Yeah, he self-destructed the whole place. And so he pushed her out of the way down the stairs, which I'm calling it. I'm like, that's not how explosions work. She's gonna get way more
Yeah,
hurt.
somehow she
Yeah.
lived that, which doesn't make
There's
all that
no
much
way.
sense. But
Yeah.
we go with it for the story.
Yeah.
Mhm. But yeah, I really liked episode 9.
It was a very good episode. It's
Then-
so
well, then-
hard to pick a favorite episode because they were all so good.
I think I like this
True.
one purely for like the story reason. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? I like this one
Some-
more for a story reason. I like episode 7 more for an animation reason because of the water, like the jumping over the lake scene.
Hmm.
And I probably
Yeah.
like the last one the most just based off of like the resolution.
Yeah. I personally loved the ending of episode 9. I don't know if it's my favorite because of the ending, but I do think that this was one of my favorite endings, if that makes sense. I started getting chills from when Violet knelt down by the violets. I started getting chills from then all the way to the end. Just the music and just what was happening was just so beautiful. It was just so good.
And it definitely she reaches her lowest point in that episode too, and then getting that kind of
Because
some form of relief near the end was nice.
Yeah.
Gilbert finds her because she went to that fort where it exploded, like to like dig through the rubble, and like Gilbert finds her there, and he's like,
Or Hodgins
"You
finds
can
her
stay,
there, right?
you can stay here, but I'm staying with you until you leave." But I
Yeah.
think at the end of episode 9, isn't that when she writes for Luculia's brother Spencer? Like she writes a letter
And then he
for
writes
him.
back to his sister, which was really nice. I do want to touch
Mhm.
on real quick before we continue. I think we met. I don't remember exactly when it happens. I don't see it in these summaries, but there was the bit where Hodgins and Gilbert have a little conversation in the flashbacks.
That was
Oh,
episode
yeah.
8, I believe,
Yeah, and
where
it,
he salutes her. He salutes him like the major salutes Hodgins, and he goes, "Not
like,
anymore."
yeah, you don't got to do that, bro. And
I'm
then
not here anymore like that.
yeah, and I just liked he said, maybe I will trust her to you, and then it was more of like them joking around, and she took it seriously, and then also it ended up kind of happening because now she works for him, so it's pretty funny.
No, because it actually said like I think it was actually said like, yeah, I entrust her to you, right?
But yeah,
Later
it's true.
on.
He did entrust her to him. That's why the first episode. Yeah, you're right.
Mhm. Okay.
So, anyways, but yeah, and then in episode 9, she writes the letter for Spencer, right?
Spencer. Yeah.
Or-
What a memorable character, Spencer.
I almost forgot that was him for a little while, and then I finally pieced it
Yeah.
together.
I was like, who's this kid? I'm like, oh right. The reason why that one girl was doing it. Yeah, I don't remember his character that well, besides he was an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they talk about the burns in that episode too, how like Hodgins had previously told her she was filled with burns, and then she didn't
Yeah,
understand it.
and that comes back, I believe, in episode 13.
It's recurring theme throughout the whole thing, but
Yeah.
it comes there, and then she that was when she tried to kill herself, right? With her arms, she tried to choke herself.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh,
Oh my goodness, that was so sad.
I did forget about that. Oh,
Yeah, no, because she's like
Oh.
screaming in her room, and she's at her lowest, and then she tries to kill herself, and then she gets the knock about the Sulia and stuff like that. And I thought it was interesting that when she didn't follow through, she ends up just going to help the old man deliver letters. Like there's something
Yeah.
relatable about that. When you're at your lowest, you end up just going and doing something to help people.
Yes.
So on that sour note, let's go on another sour note. Episode 10. Who else got chills at the end of this episode?
That's me too.
Oh man.
It was so sad, but it was also like super heartwarming. I mean, we'll
So,
get
yeah.
into that though.
Yeah, so there's like a sick mom that lives in a mansion, and her daughter who always wants to like play house, play outside, catch bugs, all like kid stuff. And she meets Violet, like she calls in Violet for a hidden reason we don't find out till the end of the episode. She calls in Violet, and the girl thinks that Violet's an actual doll instead of
yeah, I
a
love
memory
that.
cell. So she's like, where does the T go? And Violet like says it like matter of factly, like I'll expel it and it returns to the earth. And she just, I guess like her kid mind, she thought like it like comes out like a back door, like a like it just like exits her.
Technically,
Yes,
Technically it does.
you know what I
the
mean? Like
joke
through
of
like
it all, yeah.
like just like it's like she like undoes something on her arm and it like spills out or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know that was funny, and that's just like the whole nature of those two. Like,
And this
Yeah,
one I do like it. Go ahead.
I think Anne was an interesting child. She was super hyper and just always wanting attention. Clearly it was because her mother was always like busy with other stuff. Like, well, first of all, she was sick, but then when Violet came, she was always busy with Violet making the writing the letters or whatever. But at first I was like, man, this child needs to calm down. But then I started to realize, wait, she's like not being neglected, but like she's not getting the attention she needs. And I didn't like how her mother treated her. Like, and it just Anne, her name's not Anna, Anne.
Mary Ann, I think, right?
I don't know. I think it was just Anne.
and with the kid, right? The
kid,
mother was. I don't remember the mother's name. I just remember Anne calling her mom.
I don't remember her name either. But Anne just wanted to help her mom, like at one point, I can't remember what exactly happened, but there was a
Like-
part where
Don't blame me for your sickness, right?
Well, just like when
Um,
her mom just like falls over, right, and then she just like gets scared or something like that.
well, there was that, but I'm thinking of the part where her mother was in bed, and I think she wanted to read her a bedtime story or like sleep with her or whatever, and her mom just kept pushing her away. I was like, man, her mom needs to chill. Like, let her do what she wants to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I felt like it was interesting because like when I first saw Anne overreacting, yeah, I got like annoyed too because she's so loud, that character too. Like
Yes.
She's
it's
a kid.
accurate
She's
to
a-
kids.
She's an anime child.
Yeah,
She's going to be loud.
It's very
Like-
accurate, but no, it starts being realistic really soon because then you start to see, she's sad about her mom and she just wants to spend time with her mom, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think like at the
Because she's
height-
about to die, so
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So let's get to that. At the height of the episode, she dies, right?
Mhm.
Oh,
She
yeah,
dies, and like before that, she goes
The
like,
mother,
"Don't,
for
yeah,
context.
not Anne." The mother dies, and Anne is like saying like, "Don't blame me for your sickness and all that," because like she felt sorry, like she felt like she was responsible for it, like in that childhood way, like childish way, and she's like the last one at her funeral, like she stays there the
Mhm.
longest, which always breaks my heart in funeral scenes, and
Yeah.
we find out why Violet was there.
Oh.
Do you guys want to do it? You guys want to say it?
Yeah. The entire time Violet had been writing letters for 7 days, and Anne was like pestering the entire time because she was confused. And then the letters that were written, Violet wrote like 50 letters that go to Anne slowly year after year after her mother's
Her
death. And it was
birthday, written
her
by her
mother.
mother, and it's
Yeah.
like she grows up with like when she turns like 18, she goes, "I hope you found someone to love," and you see Anne meets like this guy, like this nice guy, and then like they have a family, and then it's revealed by the end, like I think it was Iris goes, "You wrote 50 letters?"
Yeah.
And we're
Yeah,
like,
so she was gonna get letters until she was like in her 60s or 70s
57,
every
I
year.
57. I believe she was 7 in the episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
And then she turns 58. She's like, "Where's my next letter? Wait."
that just hit.
Well, she probably, I would imagine she would say in her last letter, like,
Oh yeah, this is it.
the
Yeah,
last
and
one.
every time like it showed her reading the letter, it like showed her from like up the back or something, and like every time like it was a new letter, she would grow, and it was always
Yeah.
angled from her back, and you saw her like shaking and crying, and I was like, oh, it's so good.
I like that
I
she cried
know.
on her 20th too. Like she didn't cry when she was younger. She actually cried on her 20th. Like it just felt like, something
Realer.
about it. Yeah.
Oh man.
So good.
There was something I remember wanting to say too about like they kind of don't reveal it in the show, but I think by the end of it you can kind of tell that it's going to be that. I didn't expect it to be 50 letters, but I thought it was going to be a letter to Anne. But
Yeah, but
it blew
man,
it out of the park
I had
with
no idea.
50 years.
yeah. And like I don't know, that's honestly it's a good idea. Like I was thinking, has this happened before in real life? Like did they take it from something? Because it honestly was it's a pretty good gift, all things considered.
I'm sure
Yeah.
it's happened before. It has to have happened at some point.
Yeah, I'm
Oh.
reminded of this scene from I think Back to the Future 3 where Doc writes Marty in 1885. Yeah, in 1885, and he writes him a letter to be delivered to him in 1955, I believe.
That's the only one I haven't seen, actually, the third one. But that's
pretty
another.
good.
I don't
Yeah.
know which ones I've seen, and I don't remember any of them. So
All right, no, first one's in the past, second one's in the future,
and the third one's in
and
the
the
far
third one's
past.
in the Wild West.
Yeah.
I've seen
No,
a
but
scene from the third one then for sure.
Oh.
I remember what the mother on her 18th, she said, you put somebody, not that I know anything about that, because their father had, like, she'd been divorced or something like that. Like, I thought it was real, like, how their relationship between the mother and daughter.
Yeah. Oh man. So episode 11.
Yeah, but yeah, 10 was crazy.
Okay,
was
so in
good.
episode 11, my first thought when they showed the snow, I was like, just when you think that they wouldn't come up, like they couldn't come up with any more beautiful landscapes, they do it
For
again
real.
every
real.
episode. Oh,
Also,
and
yeah.
from here on out, I was basically speechless about the whole show. Like my head was empty. I was just watching the show. Like I
No
had no
thoughts, had
thoughts about it.
every
Just
good show.
utter awe.
I want to say I can't believe they did my boy Ayden how they did. Like, come on now. Wasn't
It's spelled
poor
differently.
Ayden.
Don't worry. It's spelled differently, so it's not actually.
Ayden. I've never seen it spelled like that. By the way, like
Really?
It's spelled Aidan.
I've never seen it spelled with a Y.
Well, yeah, that one's weird too. That my spelling is also weird. But
Well, no,
still,
yours is Ayden. His is normal. It's Aidan, which is Aydan.
Oh,
the A is
that's
the weird
weird.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, the A's the weird thing there.
That's what because I was watching on sub for episode 11, so I just kept seeing the AIDAN, and I was like, "What? That's so weird." But anyways,
Mm-hmm.
not the
Also,
important thing of the episode.
real quick before we continue to the audience who was wondering from the last episode, no, Benedict's weird hair thing is not explained in any detail.
Ah, yes, we didn't get
It's
any
We didn't get any solace in it.
story.
Uh,
We did. I didn't notice that he wore heels, and then that was brought up at some point in some of these
I
episodes.
did. I don't know why, but he doesn't
So
have a
weird.
reason to. Like,
No,
like,
it's just a random little character.
it's a
quirk
random
that he
quirk, but
wears
like
heels.
it would make more sense if it was like a butcher, because that's what they were originally made for. Is like butchers. So like they wouldn't step on the blood. They would
Oh,
have like platform shoes.
did not know that.
Yeah, the more you know.
Makes sense.
So yeah,
So, yeah.
episode 11.
This one, once again, was very sad.
Yeah.
Oh, so many of them are sad at this point.
Yeah. That's about all I've got to say. I'm going to be honest with you. I'll just play off of your thoughts now.
Like-
Literally, I was left speechless.
Hit after hit.
Yeah, like the beginning is just I guess first it actually starts with Violet finding her way over to the city of Citrigal, which is like the place where like there's war stuff after stuff about like different factions.
All right, now that I'm looking at this, nominated for best protagonist and won best animation.
Golden.
If it didn't win best animation, I would have had to see what it is. Because it just gets to a point. Because I'm a person who pays attention to animation all that much.
Oh, and it won from the Crunchyroll Anime Awards too.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just really good. There's hardly anything else I can say. I'm not one of those people who can analyze it or be like, and the way that they did it in this part, but I look at it and I go, yep, that's good. Look good to look at.
Pretty much, yeah, that's how I am with pretty much everything.
That's one pretty drawing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah,
So,
but after Violet makes her way over there, and then she like goes to a postal company, and they have a fun conversation. She ends up being dropped by plane, which was fun times. But
no, that's in. I believe that's in 12. I believe, but
no, it's not.
No,
it's in
but in 11. Oh, is it? Because in 11 they get a request from a.
I know
they get a request from an army camp from the neighboring country. Are you sure?
To get there, she get to that army area. She's dropped on top of that snowy mountain.
That's right. Yeah, I know they are dropped down because it's like a hard place to cross, so they wouldn't think to like watch that area. Yeah, because the country of Citrigal. How do you guys think it's said? Citrigal. Yeah, that's in a civil. It's in a civil war because some people still want to go to war, still want to fight, like get their money, and others want peace. Yeah.
Which is really cringe, by the way, because then now more people have to die, which we see because your boy Ayden, along with some other people whose names I forgot, they're like chilling, like they got a moment of relaxation. Then they all get shot up by some randoms when it wasn't even a war area, like they were just kind of like scouting out. So it was pretty cringe. But anyways, they all are almost dying, and then Ayden's like really almost dying. Then Violet swoops down and like saves them because she got combat abilities still, and then they go into a hut, and that's where the majority of the episode.
She maxed out her hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah, for real, level 100. I swear, that's actually what it looks like. She's just like fighting a bunch of level 10s, and she's level 100.
Right, for real. But man, again, the animation like this. Do you guys know the term? I think I've told you, Emily, but sakuga.
That doesn't sound familiar.
Okay, so sakuga is like where you can tell they put the budget for the animation. Like, oh, yep, that right there. That was like
Was that like a
that's where.
meme phrase or something?
No, it's the actual word sakuga. It's like that's
Okay.
where you can tell like they've focused so much of the animation. Which a good point of sakuga is majority of One Punch Man fights, any Levi fight on Attack on Titan, um, the lake scene in Violet Evergarden when she's jumping across the lake, and these fight scenes in Violet Evergarden
The
are
fire
like,
in Violet Evergarden.
yeah, the fire, yeah. I think that's more CG, but like the fight, like the kinetic fights in this, like when she's taking each soldier down, is like technically impressive.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Ayden Field lying down in a field.
The episode was a bit slower because I feel like, in summarization really quick, basically she's in a hut and then he's like dying and he wants to write letters to his mother
Well,
and
yeah,
father.
because most of it was from him telling her what to write.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just it's a lot of slow build up. Like I don't mean slow is a bad thing. I mean not a lot happens, but it is definitely just the little things that contribute to making it a good
Right?
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And so like he has his stories, and I think it's cool too as a side note how Violet can literally just remember what he says. Like she writes
Oh
it
yeah,
down
no.
on the
Oh
air.
yeah.
She like
That was
air
cool,
types
though.
it, and like her like gears remember it. I thought that was cool. Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Which I
Then
mean
he's
makes
just like,
sense. She was
oh,
in the
okay.
military. It makes sense because she's in the military. So like that, she probably learned herself like how to remember that, or she probably forced herself to
Mhm.
like memorize the
So
locations of each one.
and to me, like I just liked the episode because the way he talks about the letters, like it's not that big, Like Maria was a childhood friend who ended up liking him, and then they didn't get to do it before he went to war. That's like the whole thing, but it's just the way that he talks about it.
They didn't get to like reciprocate the feelings together. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like
Which
with
the
his
way it was,
mother and father.
I just want to say the way it was worded is like when he's saying like it's like to my mother. I didn't catch that part, and I thought he said to Maria. And when you saying like if I ever die, I want to be your child again. Like, like
Yeah, I fear even more. No, but
yeah,
sorry.
I was
That's
like,
really
oh.
funny. I can imagine the confusion you had. Just like, what?
Yeah, I had to rewind. I'm like, oh no, it's to my mom. Man.
Awesome.
Oh gosh, that was a brow moment right there for me.
Understandably. Then I mean, like it's just really just like the way that he talks about it. I think it's kind of impressed on me, just like the whole fact of war and stuff like that. Like it's just the seriousness of people having to deal with death, because then afterwards she delivers the letters, and just seeing those people react to Ayden being dead.
No, it was Maria because they showed Maria like on the farm, and they were going like, "Hey, you got a letter from Ayden." That's all they
She's all
said.
happy, yeah, and
She's kind
then
of
she
messed up,
sees
and
that
then she like
I
turns the
know.
corner, and sees his parents crying, holding a letter.
Yeah, like
Ayden's
what? That's
dead.
so sad. Like they get her hopes up like that.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Mhm.
But
Mm,
Like
that's
what
it.
else was Pikachu?
Oh,
yeah.
and then at the end, Violet cries again when she comes back. No, that was in episode 10 actually. That's what I liked about the end of it. She cries after going home, and then it happens again in this episode. So Violet starts
Yeah.
crying a lot. She's getting better at emotions.
Yeah.
Yes. I
Good
mean,
for
you ever
her.
you like have like a stint of your life where you just push down all your emotions, and then like something happens, and you just keep crying. Like that sounds a little dark, but
No.
Well, I haven't gotten to that point yet myself, but no, I can understand that. It's just a matter of being more open with yourself, like being okay with it,
yeah.
and then it.
Not
Wait,
to get
what?
all serious, but like I'm actually like going through that right now. Like I do not cry. I physically cannot cry. Like but I just like I
Podcast is getting personal.
okay, I am not joking. Like I just don't cry. Like nothing makes me cry. That's why I haven't cried this whole series. Nothing makes me cry. And then like if enough things build up, there'll be like one
Yeah.
small thing could like set it off, but like not that much. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Yeah, well,
so
Trust
I
me,
completely
therapy
feel
helps. Therapy helps.
whole-
Don't worry.
fine.
but like, yeah, no, it is true. You hold it in so much, and eventually it comes loose, and then it comes
Right.
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
It's a lot
like
for me. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
like
have you
someone told me
seen
it's
have you
like a
seen Violet
water tank.
Evergarden? Have you seen Violet Evergarden? She did it for 14 years. Get on her level.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, there is a lot of things, similarities there. Like I can it's just Violet's character and all the not emotion things is really something I can empathize with.
The not emotions.
Yeah.
I
Anyways, that's all of episode 11. Basically, I feel like it was just a good episode. There's not much to say about it.
I
yeah.
mean, yeah, it was a very good storytelling episode, like direction wise. Like I would say it was very good, top quality, but not a lot happens.
Just sadness
Like,
about Ayden, and
but
that's it.
I think we spent the most time talking about this episode.
So
The rest was just rambling, like off topic rambling.
Yeah, this is a good point. Well, episode 9 and 10 we talk. Anyways, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We should move on to
Episode-
12. What happens in that one? Oh, I do remember.
Yeah, I think episode 12 and 13. We can just say they're like part 1 and 2.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
we're gonna be
like
we're gonna be
8 and 9
yeah, we're definitely gonna be referencing like from 12 and
in
13.
between.
Yeah, so episodes 12 and 13. What'd y'all think of the finale?
I'll
oh
go
my
first.
goodness, that was insane. I once again was left speechless just watching,
Yeah.
but it was so good.
Yeah. It brings together the story more, because like there are individual episodes in the show which are also just as great. They you could classify them as filler, but the whole show lives on that. Like the filler is great. It's to me
Yeah.
at least.
I
This
don't
one-
think it was filler because it still like motivates Violet.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes that happens in fillers
Like
too.
back
But
to my
regardless,
thesis. Back to my thesis. It teaches her the different types of love.
yeah, exactly, and that's what's so great about those individual episodes. Like they have,
Mhm.
there's a lot of messages and themes in each one. But anyways, this one is more related to the war and Gilbert and all that stuff.
Yes. And so
And
episode 12, it's like a peace treaty, right? Is like being sent, or like a high ranking official is being sent to the other side across the train to like sign a peace treaty to like end the war, essentially. Not end the war, but like finally like stamp, like put it down, like stamp it down. Like
nice stamp sound
I'm
effect.
I'm rambling, but
Appreciate it. Well, yeah, and then that same anti-peace people we've been talking about with Ayden, they come back again. Which is,
yeah, they come back
okay.
in. But yeah,
And
I mean, it was still good episodes, but they're stuck on a train. I think Benedict and Catalea are on this one. Right? Yeah, they're on this
Yeah,
one.
they are.
And we're also reintroduced to his brother, the Major's brother. What's his name? Diefried. Yeah,
It's like Nightfree or something.
it's like Diefried.
Mhm.
Nightfree.
Yeah, so
And
we're
it was-
introduced
I
to
feel like
him.
that's majority of the 12 and a decent part of 13 is about Dietfried and Violet. Like they're
Yeah, I do
interesting.
Yeah.
want to say he does get a good character, motivation wise.
I know. I
Ayden
like
Violet.
Dietfried a whole lot.
Like after
He
these
doesn't
two
feel like a
episodes.
bad guy in any way, but he definitely fills the antagonist role in some ways.
Yeah,
Something along Deuteragonist or one of those, but I don't know what it is. But
Deuteragonist. Is that like
That's a fancy word.
the surfer version of antagonist?
Deuteragonist is like that's the one when there's two protagonists basically. Like there's the main guy and then there's the other guy who's
Oh,
almost.
yeah.
Dueteragonist, like duets, like plural, like more than
I
one.
think that's the spelling, but phonetically. That's
Oh,
It's
you mean
pronounced
the
Deuteragonist.
Lancer? You mean the Lancer?
Lancer. Is that what it is? I feel like there's a word that is.
No, it's another word. Lancer is I don't want to say sidekick, but think more like Vegeta in Dragon Ball.
Oh no, but Deuteragonist is more like literally they're almost
They
both
oppose.
protagonists.
They oppose and support the protagonist at the same time, or they switch off from doing that.
The Lancer is a contrasting duo with the main character.
Anyways, regardless, for
Again,
Dietfried isn't any of those. I'm trying to think of somebody
Think
who's
like
like
Sasuke and Naruto.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
yeah.
guess
Mhm.
that's it for Dietfried. Yeah, even though that's not deuteragonist, but that's like Dietfried's whole thing of just kind of he's there to help, but he still has like hatred towards the main character.
Naruto and Sasuke.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yep.
Good cause, good motivations, but doesn't help the main character.
Right.
Anyways,
Yeah.
we spent a whole lot of time talking about that. I find that kind of stuff interesting, but regardless.
Yes. Yeah,
Um,
this is great YouTube channel called Overly Sarcastic Productions. You're welcome for the plug, guys.
they definitely needed it, whoever they are. I don't know
Yeah,
them, but
I
they're
think
more popular.
they just reached 1 million subscribers
Oh.
on
Oh,
YouTube.
yeah. No,
But
they
they
definitely need the plug.
they definitely need the plug. Uh, they have they have this great thing called wow, Trope Talk. Where they talk about tropes in media, and I think you'd like it.
Yeah, I do like tropes in media. Actually, I was gonna say something about a trope, the funeral thing,
Yeah.
but anyway.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
but what happens? Oh yeah, so they're on the train, and then Violet, like they're trying to the anti-peace people basically get on in one way or another and try to blow things up. And
Yeah,
so
they
Violet,
disconnect the cars from like the soldiers and the peacekeeping guy.
yeah, and so like Violet tries to fight them off on top of the train, and
Hmm.
while doing that, like it's interesting because there's the conflict of the literal, people trying to kill her. Then there's also the conflict of her and Dietfried, like him saying,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I got
you
the
only
same
take
title.
orders.
I think
Yeah, I know. It's so good.
was it
How
this
both of them.
episode? Was it this episode where the her losing her arms? Was it this one?
Yeah, I think it was 13.
Yes. Okay. Well,
Maybe it was 13. Yeah.
was blocking. She was blocking Diefried like from bullets, and they were
Yeah, you're
just
right.
kept
That
getting
was
like torn off her arms.
right at the start of 13, but they kind of go together anyways.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't separate the two.
Yeah, it is a two-parter, and so
I watched them back to back, so I can't really
Yeah, me
separate them.
too.
yeah, but it is interesting, in Dietfried's message about her becoming a tool. It's kind of like how you can see, or her being a tool. It's you can see how far she's come from there. It's like it shows her character development because then she's like, now she's her own person. She took the order that the major did about being free and living. Now that's what she's doing, and it shows just how far from when she first met Dietfried, where she was a tool.
Yeah.
So, that's her. She's literally facing, people from the army, literally, and then she's also facing her internal conflict with Dietfried yelling at her and stuff like that. So I feel like it's a really good moment of culmination.
Yeah, I think it was very good.
Then
So,
somehow
oh
she
yeah,
wins.
no,
I forget.
no,
It's
no,
like
I do remember. I do remember. Episode. So this is the end of episode 12. Episode 13. It discovers that they have on the bridge that they're approaching. There's a bomb to explode if if it didn't work out on killing the peace guy.
Yeah, the guy's all like they knock him out, and he's like, "You're too late," or something like that.
Hmm. Yes, and this is where Violet loses her other arm.
And that's where she loses the brooch too temporarily. And I feel like there's some
Yes,
sort of
oh my goodness.
Yes,
stuff
she
like that.
loses her brooch, and then oh, I do remember. Oh yes, this is where. So after this, like everyone's safe. Like she has new prosthetic arms, and there's this called the air show, and they drop down a whole bunch of letters, which I feel like is like against is a federal offense.
Yeah, like, okay, how would they find their letter and how, because they were at a harbor, right? So, like, how would they know
Right.
that the majority of the letters wouldn't fall in the water?
I think it was
that
more
was-
like symbolic, but still.
Yeah, and then somebody
I know,
picks up
but
the
it was
letter
like,
to some dead guy they don't know, like
Yes, but um, they all like tell each other what uh like they written and put in there, and
oh yeah,
they're all say. I think what did everyone say? It was
don't remember.
I just watched this.
But which
I
one are you?
just watched. Um, I want to lead up to Gilbert's letter, but like everyone else is like to their parents or oh yeah no what's her name? What's the shy girl name? The shy girl. Erica.
Yeah.
Erica.
Yeah, she had a crush on somebody.
Yeah,
Or
she had a
on
crush on
Benedict, right?
Oh
somebody.
yeah.
On Benedict. I think it's implied on Benedict. And then
Mhm.
Catalea pulls out a letter that the president wrote, and it was written
God.
to his unborn child,
Who's this
which
child, yeah.
I think it's hinting I don't know hinting, but I'm pretty sure it's Catalay is the mom, right?
Oh,
Gotta
I
be.
didn't. Honestly, I didn't take it that way. I just, for some reason, I was like, oh wow, he wants a kid. Like, went over my head.
Yeah, I didn't take it that way either, but it makes sense. Like the
Yeah.
second you said it, just
Maybe
it
it's
makes sense.
interpretive, but also maybe it is just that
Also, it'd
blatant.
be a really jerk move for like Catalay to just go through, because like it said like she goes through his trash for the drafts and then reads it out loud, and that'd be a really jerk if she wasn't the mother.
That's true. They do have a
Yeah.
thing regardless.
Yeah, they do. So
And before we do more of the letters, though, I do want to point out when she talked to Gilbert's mother.
oh yes, at episode 13. Yeah, this is the ending of episode 13.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Again, I watched these episodes today, so that's why I remember them.
So did I.
But it makes sense.
Good.
Emily's seen them like a week ago, so and we
Had a week ago. I will not stop saying it.
Well, then I will never say that again.
Ah, you fool. Okay.
I do forget most of what her conversation was with her mother. Stuff with the brooch, and then her mother immediately sees it and goes, like it's like Gilbert's eyes, and it's cute because of course she would know that.
And it's like not implied, but like kind of shown that the mom has a bit of like dementia, right?
I know I think he says it.
Not it doesn't say it, but it's like, hey, I know you don't remember, but this is the girl you asked for.
Yeah, and at this point, Dietfried is kind of he's realized that she does have emotions. She's not a tool anymore. Like we've come to that point, and so he helps her out, which is nice.
Yeah.
And then and then she said that she still believes that Gilbert's alive, which doesn't Violet still kind of, she says stuff like that too?
Yeah, no, she says he's still alive and like points to her brooch.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
and
she
it's
lives
alive in her
on.
heart.
He lives on with me,
Right, that's right.
like that trope. But I do like the breakdown of Dietfried's character, where he goes like, "You took my brother away," or to Violet, like in anger. I think when they're arguing, and I think it was episode 12. But like, you took my brother away, and like I loved him and all that. And this is like a point of the family love, the familial love. Which,
Yeah.
oh man,
Those, and the mom says those two were really close, and it's just like,
yeah, you took my younger brother away.
Mm.
Oof. Yeah, I can't imagine losing a younger sibling.
The show just crafts relationships together perfectly. Like I mean, that's the whole idea of the show, is different relationships, but it does it really well.
Crafts and crashes them at the same time.
Yes.
Oh, so yeah, I guess. Oh no, this is the last scene. The very last scene is when she comes to terms with Gilbert's loss. She receives a new ghostwriting request and returns to work and introduces herself to her clients. And like, we didn't see the client, we didn't see anything, and then it cuts to credits, and I thought that was amazing.
But her, did you see her eyes light up when she saw who's at the door?
Hey, I'm so confused. I
don't know
could it
who it
be?
is. I don't know who it is,
don't
but
know
I think
what it means. I looked it
Okay,
up, like I
so-
looked up online what it meant. But what's your theory? You were saying a thing, Emily.
I thought it was my first inclination was it's Gilbert, but she would not have reacted that way if it was Gilbert. She would have
No,
like been
she would have cried.
speechless. She wouldn't have been able to say Violet Evergarden at your service or whatever like that. She wouldn't have she would have freaked out. So it can't be her, but I don't know who else it could possibly be because she didn't really have any other close relationships.
Also, she probably knows. Well, maybe she didn't, but I feel like there's a good chance she knows who the person is, and she's just happy to see them. It's like she already knew who she was gonna see.
Right? Yeah.
If
maybe
Gilbert,
it was that way. Maybe it was Anne. Like, we don't know. Like
maybe?
all grown up. Like not all grown up. No, she would have only been 7.
Makes sense.
But,
time we.
Yeah. Time
she
we
grabbed her TARDIS.
But maybe. But like maybe it was just like someone she knew. Who knows? Or it could just be she's excited to write it in her letter.
What if it's Leon?
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
It has to be Leon. It needs to be Leon.
I feel like it makes the most sense out of anybody because he's actually traveling, going out, and she had to
forgot about him again.
I forgot about him until just now, and now I know it has to be Leon. In my heart, it's Leon.
I feel like it makes the most sense. And now she's able to move on from Gilbert and then actually make a relationship with somebody else. Like, I feel like that's a good
It's a good
No.
ending. Now,
Yeah.
so overall, what would you rate the whole show?
I rate overall 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10?
What
Mhm.
about you, Ian?
I want to give it a solid 8.5 because
I'm a 9 as
if
well.
it would get a 10. It would get a 10 if it had a second season and way longer.
Bro, okay.
Not
I
enough
don't think that's a
content.
basis for rating.
Give me
I want to
more.
know. I want to know who's at the door.
Okay, that's a
But
good point. But still,
yeah,
I think Violet Evergarden deserves more.
yeah. I mean, there is the movies. We might cover those.
That's true.
But
Definitely gonna watch them. I'm not even if we don't, because
Yeah,
I want to
I'm
see
definitely gonna
what
watch them.
content they
Yeah.
have.
But
Yo, movie
man,
night?
yo,
Yes, sir. That would be fun actually to actually
on-
watch it together.
it's on Netflix. But yeah,
We
so
totally could do a watch party.
yeah, I give it a 8.5. Ayden?
I give it a 9 as well.
9?
I don't know
It's-
why it's not, I don't have a reason that it's not a 10. I just feel like I would reserve that for something that's more like
I'm reserving my
perfect for
10
me.
for a single show that I hope you eventually watch.
Gotcha. Well, that's
I am also reserving 10 for a show that I'm reserving the 10 for you guys probably know it to be my favorite show. I don't know for sure if you guys know,
I'm not
but
going to say it on air though. I'm not going to say it on the recording for mine at least.
I don't know either.
Let's,
So I guess
let's keep them in suspense. Let's keep the
yeah,
guys.
I don't know if
I'm
we're
sure-
gonna
yeah.
go over the show.
Yeah. So all right. What else do you want to say?
I don't know.
So I think that the plot is just so good. Like at first it was, I wouldn't say a little slow, but at first I would have rated the plot like a 7 or an 8. But the further the show got, the better it got.
It
And
picks
it
up
just-
at episode 7. It picks up
Yeah,
at episode
definitely.
7.
Definitely. And so between that and the animation and just the way it brings emotions, it's everything's so sad but also so heartwarming. It's just really solid. So I had to give it a 9.
Like the colors are just like warm and like I just love
Yes.
it. Yeah, the animation. Anything else,
Yeah.
Ayden?
Yeah, I think for me the thing that stood out most, I mean, I kept talking about it, but was just the main characters struggle with emotion. I really you don't see that in anime all that much. So that
Right.
above all else is the biggest thing for me.
I do want to ask you, what would you say, like, do you think this would be a good beginner's anime? Like for someone who wants to get into anime, would you recommend this show to them?
I think so, because it's a very it's obviously really well crafted. It has good characters, and
It's
there
very-
is a bit of like violence and like war and blood and gore and stuff. Where it's like
I mean,
it's
not as much as you,
overwhelming.
not as much as other ones, but
Exactly,
yeah,
but just they
I
can
would
kind of
say
what they're in for a little bit.
I would say
'cause
this is
a
a
lot of
great.
like,
I would say this is a great beginner anime simply because that it's not anime-ish. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's not like over the top in the way of
Like Kill la Kill
the way
is,
that
or-
anime is,
Yeah, like there's no
stereotypes and all
giant.
that.
There's no like voluptuous women or like a lot of like the voice line like weird stuff by American standards.
Yeah.
I think
That
you
is
have to
true.
know going in, like this is a weeb culture or anime culture or Japanese culture. I really should have just said Japanese first. But anyways, you don't have to know that going in. It's just a good show that
Right.
doesn't.
It's a very good show. So yeah, so I would highly recommend. Like I would give this. Like I would tell my family and friends to watch this show.
Sir, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you guys want to say, or are we good?
I think I'm good.
Yeah. I've been Ian.
Oh yeah, and I have been Emily at some point.
I was at one time Ayden, one time Erno.
All right.
Ayden said, okay. Anyways.
Have a good morning, night, and evening.
Testing? Question mark? I don't remember how to do this. Hello again. I'm back. I had a stupid amount of fun with this end card on the last episode, so I'm making this a thing. This is the thing now. Not to mention these fools don't know how to make a coherent outro, so here we are. Next episode will be the start of the Trigun series, so do stick around for that. Thank you so much for watching. I love you. Mwah.